the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adoption of the agenda, we have an addition for acquisition of a pickup truck.
Yes.
Where do you want to put it?
5.5,
How about 5.1 or 5A?
5A, if you want to look at it. Okay, good with that? Public comment? Nope. Select board announcements.
I will announce that the wood pile out there is being used the way it's supposed to be used.
Good.
Last night when I left the meeting, there was a lady putting some wood in the back of her car, and I spoke to her a little bit about it. She said, "My furnace is about to quit. It's got smoke coming out of it." And I said, "Well, that's exactly what that wood pile's for. You help yourself." And it's been holding up. People haven't been taking,
Well, if you need wood, tell her to call here.
Well, she said she has talked to someone, so
Okay, good.
I told her she could get a whole cord if she needed it. But
Yes, you can.
so there you go.
Right. Got anything, Matt? Nope. Town administrators report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, everyone. Just a couple items. I do want to report to the board and to the public that we were able to secure Harpswell Community School for Wednesday, February 11th, 6 o'clock for the public hearing
February
on the secret ballot item. So that night, you have Curtis Memorial Library, the appropriation for that, and you also have the warrant article that's being voted on by secret ballot for Clark Cove.
What time?
6 o'clock, Harpswell Community School. Pretty sure it was 6, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, gosh. I could double check myself.
I can if you want to keep
Oh,
going.
okay. And the other announcement would be, if you have a dog in Harpswell that needs to be registered, you want to do it before the end of this month.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, you get hit with a late fee that the state imposes, which is $25. So contact the town clerk's office and take care of that piece of business. Thank you.
Yes.
And it's 6 o'clock on the 11th. Yeah, Terry check.
That it?
Yes, thank you.
Consent agenda?
I move the consent agenda, was approval of minutes and authorization of the warrants, and I would move that we accept Jeremy's resignation from the Energy Technology Committee with regret. He was really a good active member.
Well, he moved, didn't he?
He was he's over in, not much, he's over in Mere Point now, but yeah, he's out of town.
Close enough.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Like,
All right. Next up is the purchase of a fire truck, a pickup truck.
Yeah, so
Wait a
I'll
minute.
give a little bit of background on this one. The board authorized a request for proposal, which the town sent out to a number of companies, and it was for a 1-ton pickup. We were very specific. It was a Ford. We worked with the chief of the Oars and Bailey Island Department because this vehicle is going to be used primarily or almost exclusively by that department. We received one bid. They were due on Tuesday at the close of business. It was from a company in Maine called Autotronics. They're primarily based out of Bangor. We sat down, I say the Chief Wallace and myself sat down and had a phone conversation with the owner of the company, and we went through all of the town's requirements, and there was one that they had not been able to provide us with information on, and we had asked in our RFP for a warranty of 100,000 miles. 10 years, sorry. 10 years or 60,000 miles. And they were unable to procure that warranty from Ford, but they did present a proposal or an alternative for the 10-year and 100,000. So that did increase the cost a bit from the proposal that we received on Tuesday, and I'll let the chief get into
about
the
3,000
details.
for that.
There are a few exceptions as well.
Hello, Ben Wallace from Oars and Bailey Island Fire Department. So when we were on the phone with their salesman, actually I think he might be the owner of the
I
business.
think he's the owner.
I said, well, let's go over the truck spec, and it turned out that they had through oversight, not included the extended warranty. So that's why there's an adjustment. And originally, we had asked for 10 years, 60,000 miles. As it turns out, because it's a fleet vehicle, because the town has a municipal fleet discount with Ford, you already bumped up to 5 years, 100,000 miles, so they weren't going to offer us a 10-year, 60,000-mile warranty. So really, it was just extending from 5 years to 10 years. So that's what the change is with that. So we are making some modifications. There's a center console, there's some lights on this thing, there's a lift gate on the back. As most of you know, our volunteers seem to be progressively getting older. I know I haven't been able to freeze
hadn't noticed.
my age in town. So the lift gate's going to be useful for some of the equipment's going on there. And this truck's going to replace a 2000 model year vehicle that's much larger. We expect it to get a lot more use and be way more flexible than the vehicle we currently have. The other side of it is, so there's a radio that gets installed in this truck. And so rather than include that in the bid to Autotronics, the proposal was that the town buy that directly and have it installed by our radio vendor, because not only are we not going to pay a markup to Bulldog for having RCM do the work, but there's a county contract, grant contract, and we get somewhere around 25% off because we're a part of Cumberland County. So it saves money, probably a significant amount of money, by just having the town purchase that directly when it's time. And that number on the radio, or the estimate on the radio, is going to be $2,379.35 in addition to the Autotronics.
What was that number again?
$2,379.35. There's an estimate on the number of hours it's going to take to install it. So that could fluctuate when it's time to install it, but that's their estimate.
And the Autotronics vehicle is $106,020.
Yeah. Yep.
So they had the
Oh,
2,300.
the light package.
What's that?
The light package?
The light package is included in the Autotronics, yep.
Yep.
The only thing that wasn't included in the Autotronics that we're asking the town for is the radio install from
yep.
RCM. Yep. The rest of it will be provided by the fire department.
So it's everything you want.
Yep.
And Chief Wallace, didn't you say the city of Portland has used this company for some vehicles?
Yeah, so Portland's bought ambulances off of them in the past. The ambulance that I use on Peaks Island is an Autotronics vehicle. I mean, they build a lot of ambulances. They do a lot of upfitting jobs like this, so I'm comfortable they'll do a quality job for the department. So
We haven't used it before, though, have we?
no, not in Harpswell. Cundy's Harbor at one time had an ambulance that was sold by them. I can't remember if it was built by them, but it was sold by them. We're talking 4 or 5 ambulances ago. It was the
No.
first ambulance that they had that had a box on the back and just instead of a straight van.
So just to be clear, it's now 108,379.
Well, for
Something in that
Autotronics,
area.
it's 106,20.
And we've added
And there's a
2,000.
different vendor for the radio. It's
Right, so-
RCM for 2379.35.
Right, so the total is 108,379.35.
And that would come out of the emergency vehicle reserve.
Yep.
How much is in that right now?
That's a good question for our treasurer. I bet she
Enough,
knows.
anyway, right? So,
92,000.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
There's more than enough for this, plus the other
Yes.
truck that hopefully, we're hoping to
Okay.
have to you next week, so.
What's the time period on this?
They said it roughly 4 months, but the holdup's not going to be on them if there's a holdup. It takes them a month to put all this together, a few weeks. So they're really going to be waiting on Ford to deliver the vehicle and all the parts that have to come in. So that was one of the things that they took exception to in their bid was, and their revised bid is that they can't tolerate the penalty over that because there's stuff that's out of their control. So they're going to notify us as soon as the truck is delivered and they have the equipment together, and then we expect it to be ready somewhere around 4 weeks after that.
So should we approve the radio as well now? I mean, for the
I think
2,000?
the chief would like that. and then
I'd
she-
ask you to, because we need to get that radio ordered. It's probably going to take 4 months to get the radio in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I move we approve the Autotronics and that we also approve the $2,379.35 for the radio.
I will second it.
Thank you.
No discussion out there? All in favor?
I,
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Ben.
And just to be clear, would you authorize me to sign all the documents necessary?
I move that we authorize Christie to sign all the documents.
Okay,
Second, that Christie signs all the documents.
All in favor?
okay, thank you.
All right. Letter of support for Harpswell Heritage and Land Trust. Grant
So-
application.
Going to turn this over to the Chair of our Conservation Commission, Mary Ann Naif. She's been working with Harpswell Heritage Land Trust on how the town can assist with this grant application, if it should be awarded, and she's here to speak to that tonight.
Yes, Mary Ann Nay from the Conservation Commission. I'm coming to you tonight for a letter of support. Vernal pools have become topic of conversation in town again, and it's reflected so well with our freshwater wetlands. We want to start educating the public a little more as to the importance of vernal pools. Part of the issue is they're very, very important for our recharging our aquifer. Although I know we have a lot of them on the town property here, and they can become kind of something that we have to be on the lookout when we're planning construction and so forth. However, the idea is, with the Land Trust, is we've talked to Greg LeClaire, who is the state biologist. He has come down to talk about freshwater wetlands with the planning board and the planning department. And we want to start concentrating more on freshwater wetlands in general in the coming year. Part of his focus is vernal pools, and he is going to come down and present programs to the town and through the Land Trust, and also come back during the summer and present some programs when summer folk are here. Ideally, we have them on the town property, so it's an ideal location to work with the trust as part of their programming. That's what this grant is for. And it's to pay for Greg LeClaire to come down, as well as the idea later is putting up some interpretive signs that would show a little history of vernal pools and what they do for the environment. Katie Neal is excited about this as well, because these are things that can go into her recreational programming. Conservation Commission is going to work on some of the interpretive studies that they're going to be doing. And we're asking for the town's support for them to go for this grant.
I think it's a great idea, all the way around. I mean, water, education, I mean, everything about it. So I move that we send this letter with our signatures on it.
I second it.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Sure.
And Marion, I think it might be good to just clarify that the town's contributions are in kind.
That's
We will
right.
provide volunteer assistance. Our rec director would be involved, but we're not providing any financial funding,
Yep,
so to
I saw
speak.
that.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just in the
Made-
letter.
Yeah.
Made particular notice of that.
Yeah,
That's why
Thought
there's
you
no
might.
discussion.
right, exactly.
I had it.
There was no match or
I
anything.
wrote one in here. Okay.
I can sign my name.
Once we get to it, okay.
Now the discussion begins.
All righty.
And now the fun part.
Into the highlight of the evening. The
We
2026
ready to
budget review?
start?
Yep, I think we are.
So tonight, you're going to be taking on the proposed 2026 budget. And I know that this select board had a sort of reconciliation meeting, I guess we call it, with the Budget Advisory Committee in early January, so you could get their recommendations and some information from the committee members that they wanted to pass on. I would say in this budget, and we are providing information on the screen, so people at home hopefully can follow along. In the operational area of this proposed budget, you're seeing a 2.5% increase, so we're really essentially maintaining the existing service levels that we have in Harpswell. The only real change is we are taking a seasonal monitor position that was previously in the harbor master's budget, and we're moving it to the recreation budget, and it's going to be a part-time, year-round monitor position. And we can talk about that more when we get into that budget. I mean, otherwise, we're not talking about any new personnel. We're just kind of maintaining existing service levels. So I think that's important to say up front. And I also would say that the select board authorized us to apply a 2.8% across the board kind of COLA, so to speak, to all of the employees. So that's included in this number as well. The one piece that we don't have yet, and we're expecting to get next week, is the wage and salary consultants report, looking at how our current wages and salaries look in terms of the market that we're in, the local market, the municipal side of the local market, and to see how we want to consider making adjustments to try to bring some of our wage and salary levels up. So that's to be continued, and that does not appear in this current budget. Where you really see the increase is in the capital area, primarily debt service, and that figure is up because it's the first full year of both principal and interest on the town boat launch at Mitchell Field. So that's the first time you're seeing that number in totality, and we'll talk about that when we get to debt service. And the other piece you see in that debt service number is it's a interest payment for the $6 million, an estimated interest payment for the central building. So you see that in that number as well. So the capital area is up about 15%, and that's primarily due to the increases in debt service that were approved by the voters to borrow money for both the boat launch at Mitchell Field and the emergency services station, or central station. No special projects being proposed this year. It feels like we have a lot of special projects going on, but I think one of the projects we really want to see completed this year is the Ocean Street embankment. That area was hit in the January 2024 storms, and that's really been part of the road budget, and it's a project that is being reimbursed by FEMA. So, we do have the funding for that. And of course, we want to see the boat launch finished. We want to get our new central building underway. So, special projects, I'm trying to think of some of the examples, like salary survey was last year, putting more money in marine hazards, and then we had to add to the revaluation. So we don't have any of that going on in 2026. And then you can see that we do have that kind of other capital reserve where we build up for the future replacement of a boat and motor. This is in the harbor master area. We have an office equipment reserve, dry hydrant, town facilities, and vehicles that we're proposing to put money in 2026. So that's kind of an overall summary of the budget, and I think we're trying to keep things relatively in line. And I would say that, this is a very detailed page, and we won't go into that at the moment, but people can see the specific increases or decreases in some of the subcategories if they'd like to. One of the pages we don't have on the screen, but I'll just allude to it quickly, is what's known as LD1. It was a state law that was passed that used to limit how much you could collect from property taxes to pay the municipal budget. If you were going to exceed this number, you had to get a special vote. That no longer exists in state law, but the select board wanted the budget committee to still know what that number is, still know where Harpswell stands with respect to that number. So we have done a calculation, and we currently show ourselves about $145,000 below that LD1 level. So I think that's important to note.
I like it.
Then we get to general government. This is where we have the salaries for the two town administrators, myself, the deputy town administrator and treasurer. We have a full-time person at the front desk, and we have a couple of part-time people in the wages. We have a bookkeeper, and we also have a communications specialist in that part-time number. And then we run through a series of, we have contracted services. Those are things that we might utilize for things like economic development negotiations. In fact, that's how we paid Steve Levesque in 2025 for working with us on the Merry Meeting Shellfish lease. We have to pay for an annual audit of our financial statements. We have agreements for our computer systems. We have some support services we need. Our legal budget, and you can see the number expended in 2025, which it was substantial. It was $71,633. It would have been 81,000 something, but we did receive a $10,000 payment that was able to offset some of those costs. It was part of a consent agreement that this select board entered into. These legal fees, they're always hard to predict. It depends on the issues that come before us on any given year. And we have stayed with $65,000 for the proposed year, and we hope that's a good number. Then we have advertising, promotion, copying, postage, travel we keep really low, training, membership and dues. That is for Maine Municipal Association, Midcoast Council of Governments, the Southern Maine Midcoast Chamber, and we are no longer proposing a figure for the Harpswell Business Association. It does not seem to be up and running at this point.
Without Dick.
Yeah. So that is not included. We have Registry of Deed, funding, office supplies, printing public information. That's for printing our town report. We still are printing it and sending it to all residents. We occasionally do a printed bulletin, but we have moved to an electronic monthly bulletin, which I think is working out really well, and we have subscribers who sign up for that, so if anybody's interested in getting that, you can check it out on our website. We have some money for recruitment, computer equipment, paying for the video filming that occurs primarily here and sometimes off-site. We have office equipment, and then we also pay the registrar of voters, who happens to be the town clerk, from this particular general government account. Any questions?
Nope.
One quick one. With the unexpended balances, is that still through the end of October?
I
It's through the
believe
end
you've
of the year now?
updated those
Okay.
end of year, yeah.
Okay,
So we
thank you.
wanted to make sure you all had the most recent.
Yep.
Yeah, expenditures. So you can see the bottom line in this general government is up about 3.5%. Then we move to elected officials. This is where we have our 3 select board
Keep your mouth
members,
shut.
our tax collector, and our town
saying that,
clerk.
No.
And then we have very small travel budgets for those positions as well.
The chair used to be paid more, It was 8,000.
We get paid for
The chair.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
You're all right?
Assessing, we have a full-time assessor's agent, and then we also have, the person who is our part-time communications specialist is also our part-time assessing office assistant, so I think that's working out quite well for us. And then there are some typical contracted services to update our tax maps annually, some training, membership and dues, some registry of deeds fees, and really small equipment expense. And, this office has been working to ensure that the revaluation goes as smooth as it can, so they're going to hit a really busy time when all of this information starts to come out and the public has questions, and
It
So-
sounds like most of the field work's done.
I think a lot of it.
Yeah.
They just did mine.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
But they never knocked on my door. My wife saw them walking around the house and they left.
Ah,
No. Which is fine.
Next office is code enforcement. We have a full-time, basically department head, and then in wages, we have a full-time assistant code enforcement officer and a office assistant in that category. You know, in most of these budgets, as you can see, the primary expense is in the wage and salary line. The other portions of the budget are relatively small. I will say there is an equipment expense in the code enforcement budget this year, a new one. They are interested in getting a piece of equipment that can more specifically identify longitude and latitude, and they want to get better information about where septic systems are located and maybe even wells.
Yep.
The next budget is our tax collector. This does not include the elected official, but it includes the deputy. And we have a few contracted services in there. That's primarily for paying the tax bills. We have an outside company that generates those tax bills and mails them out for us. And then some, you know, miscellaneous items, training, travel, membership and dues, et cetera. Next account is the town clerk's office. Again, this does not include the elected town clerk, but it includes the deputy town clerk. There's a little bit of part-time wages in case we have an election where we need to bring in some outside help. They have a communications budget, travel, training. They do have money in the annual town meeting budget to pay people who work during that town meeting. And then they also budget for the possibility of a special town meeting and state elections, which they will be coming up this year, both the primary in June and the general election in November. So that budget is up like 5.2%, but that's because there will be multiple elections this year. Next budget is the town planner's budget. We have a full-time town planner. We have a little bit of part-time wages for some assistants in that office. We are continuing to have contracted services for areas that the town planner feels it necessary to bring in more expertise for certain matters. That can be for, well, we do have a separate GIS line. We're trying to do that more in-house, I think, in 2026. But contracted service might be some other planning-related services that we need for specific projects. And I know right now our planner's working with the Mitchellfield subcommittee that's kind of developing a master plan. And so there may be some need to bring in, for instance, an entity that has some parking expertise to design maybe a parking lot or parking area. So we're really going to rely on the planner to give us information about how that money should be used. And I will say, we have a continuing conversation with the town planner about whether or not it works to have contracted services for additional help on specific projects rather than hiring another person on a regular basis. So we're keeping an eye on that. Committees and commissions, I think this is where you see the most value. We have so many committees in Harpswell, and these volunteers have exceptional skills and qualities that they bring to so many issues that the town is dealing with. And so, you know, we have a little bit of money to support committees if they want to do special events. And then we do have budgets for both Board of Appeals and Planning Board. We compensate them a little bit of money per meeting, and we do try to make sure they have any additional training that they need for the kinds of things that they deal with. But yeah, this is a pittance compared to what we get in terms of value from all of the people who participate as volunteers in municipal government.
Are we anticipating the planning board needing additional training this year?
We've
because of
talked about that,
1829?
and the new office, and I'm going to forget what it's called,
Yeah.
but they're setting up the training sessions, and I believe they said that they didn't expect to charge.
Oh, okay.
So they're aware that all these communities need that training, and I think they're
So we don't
prepared
have to budget if it's
Yeah,
free then.
I wish I could remember what that new acronym is. The
Yep.
main Office of
Yeah.
Community Affairs, is it
Yeah,
MOCA?
Yes, I think you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It used to be the planning office.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, I know.
Used to be.
Anyway. But that is on our list to make sure that our planning board gets the
I
required
just would
training.
make it, I didn't know
Yeah,
if it was
yeah.
gonna cost money.
Yeah.
You know, if it's free, it makes sense why it's not
Yeah.
paid for.
If there's any charge, I think it's going to be minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get to facilities, and I think we were proposing a change. You know, we do have contracted services. This is primarily for the town office building. And we do have regular cleaning services that we cover, and we often have to do sort of special carpet treatment and even window cleaning at various times, stripping, waxing floors, that type of thing. We have an electricity line, and we've been monitoring that because we have, you know, had this new system put in place, our HVAC system. And I think that's why you're seeing an increase, obviously, in that electricity line.
You should see a serious decrease in propane, on the other hand, though.
That would be good.
You would think.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the
we
hope.
do see a decrease
the
in that from 24 to 25. If you look at that budget, it's down below the propane, and we're staying at the $5,000 level. Then we have, you know, telephone. We have some employees that use cell phones.
Has all of our electricity been switched over? It has. Remember we met with that consultant?
Oh, yeah, so
And he was gonna move our credits around
Yes,
and all
yes.
that. That's all been done.
that's all been
Yeah,
done.
I thought
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, yeah. We do pay Comcast a certain extent. We, not for much longer, though. We have, we're in the process of changing to Fidium Consolidated, so that may change. Are we going to rename that? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Is the cost about the same?
In totality?
Yeah.
The phone bill and our internet between recycling center, town office, and EMS, in totality, it will be less
Oh, all right.
and faster.
Perfect.
Repair and maintenance, we're currently carrying 25,000. Is that where you think we need more? Did you want to talk about that? It is up 10,000 from
But I
2025.
put it up by 10,000 because
Were we,
looking to do, now that we have to have the 2 fire doors shut at the stairwell, would like to have them have handicap buttons for opening. And that is a maintenance item, not capital, so did budget for that. We had a lot of unexpected things come up last year. If the door opens, grab your mic. We did have a lot of things come up last year, and one of the things that was a little bit of a hangover is, you know, we have to have our sprinkler system tested at all times, and when you have to dilute it to do the test, at some point, it becomes too diluted to meet the standards of not freezing below a certain temperature, which is required of a public building, and so had received a quote late last year, which was almost $10,000 to do that. We did obtain a second quote, and it's twofold. I'm asking if you could increase the budget to cover this, but also authorize the expenditure over $5,000. The second price that we did receive is for $7,776. But it is required by NFPA.
and that's under repair and maintenance?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how much did you want to add to that account?
I mean, I was rounding it to 8.
To 8, okay.
It's too late for this year, but next year, some of the windows on the back side of the original building are rotting.
Yeah.
I thought some of that was going to be done as part of the energy and technology
Upgrade.
upgrade.
Yep.
When?
It's,
We haven't started to budget for that, though, have we?
well,
It's the resiliency and sustainability reserve that you'll be asked
All right.
to use for that purpose.
Terry and I were back this morning. I happened to look up like the sheriff's window and the one just to the west of that. the bottom of the sill's rotted out.
Wow.
And we need to do it before it gets into the
Before-
wall.
Before it falls down.
Yeah.
And some shingles, general maintenance inside the
Yeah.
corner where the new
Right.
compressors are.
Yeah, north side of the building really takes a beating.
So we're asking you to increase that 25,000 in repair and maintenance to 33,000. And then if you look at the HVAC support and supply area, in 2024, we were using a number in the range of 10,000, and now we're using 5. So I think that is a result of the new system, in part.
Right, and then we had to increase it back up for the maintenance agreement. But we had dropped it to 1,000 during.
that was too low.
During the the first year.
Because it was covered under warranty.
right.
Yeah.
Has it
Yeah.
been a year yet?
Oh, yes.
Or is it a year when they're actually finally out of the building?
They come back and visit occasionally.
It was
when
from
we
the
need
date
little
of sign-off.
adjustments.
It was from the date of sign-off, and I don't believe Christie signed off until early February.
Oh, okay.
Then we have a municipal vehicle account, and you can see, if you look in the back parking lot, that we do have a number of municipal vehicles, and we will be coming back to the board and recommending at least one, I don't know, maybe 2
Yeah,
go up
but-
for sale. So probably not a good time to do it in the middle of winter, but as
There's a
things
pile of
clear
them.
up.
I just noticed
There are
yesterday.
definitely a pile of them. We received one back from the paramedic service. We had
Oh, we
leased
did?
one to
Oh,
Maine Health
yeah.
because they had one get in an accident.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's
right.
back now.
That was 4 or 5 years ago.
I know, yeah,
Yeah, we had just extended that contract.
Right.
because They didn't have
Yeah.
it.
yeah. I mean, I think to some extent, those vehicles do hold their value. They're pretty rugged.
That one's got to have some miles on
Oh, okay.
But the engine miles there.
it. Yeah, there is an hour meter on GMCs. I go on a truck.
Yeah, I
Have
have
you
one.
noticed?
Yeah, I
that?
got one.
We provide drinking water in this building. We treat the water, even though we're not drinking it, just in case someone might. It's just the safest thing for us to do. We do have propane tanks that run our new boiler and our generator. So that's an amount we need to carry. We have a security system in the building, and we've now moved streetlights over to facilities. It just seemed like we didn't need an extra account area for that. So I would say the streetlights obviously are across the town and not just at the municipal building. But we have saved a lot of money over time. If you look at expended in 2025, 4,600. When we went to LED, when we took ownership of the streetlights so that we no longer paid CMP for the streetlights, it was kind of like you lease them.
Yeah.
But we needed a state law that gave us the authority to actually own these streetlights, and it saved us a lot of money. Okay, next up is the EMS garage, or the Emergency Services Buildings is the account we're calling this, and I do want to bring your attention to, it's called account 1205, and it's new, it's at the bottom. We put 10,000 in there in case there were some minor operational expenses related to the new central building
Oh,
that we might not necessarily use bond money for, but
yep.
there may be certain things that the town finds it's starting to incur some operational costs.
Yeah.
But then this is primarily a budget for that small garage where we house the paramedic 24/7. So it's got electricity, internet, cable, phone, a small repair budget. We provide drinking water supplies, and that's the extent of it.
Don't we still have water treatment over there?
Yeah, so the water treatment for the EMS building and the recycling is on the same well, and that is
Okay.
treating for sulfur.
Yeah.
The treatment in this building, because we have signs everywhere, you're not supposed to drink the water in this building. That treatment is for iron.
Yep.
When you get the glass up to your face, you're not going to want to drink it anyway.
So next budget is the old townhouse at Harpswell Center. We are proposing 20,000 for maintenance. This is for mowing. We have a bunch of trees in that area that are really, the limbs are looking pretty rough and dangerous in terms of falling, so we're going to try to deal with those in 2026. We have a security system there, very minimal electricity. We do decorate with wreaths during the holiday, and this board carried over 7,500 to finish the cleaning of the stones this year. They kind of ran out of time, it got too cold, and they need to finish that up this spring.
Well, it's looking pretty good now. It's
Yeah,
all spiffed up.
it really is. It is looking very nice. The dock at Potts Point, in 2025, the voters approved, I think it was up to 200,000 to rebuild the town dock. So we expect to have it operational this year. We have some contracted services in terms of companies that need to bring the floats wherever we've got them stored, and I don't even remember at the moment where the floats are stored. I think it's Mitchell Field. Yeah. But they have to be taken there. We have to pay a company to do that. There may be a little bit of repair and maintenance, but, fairly minimal since it's going to be a newly constructed dock. Town lands. So this is actually.
A little into you.
Okay, closer. Town lands, this is actually where you're going to see the part-time monitor year-round. So we're budgeting $14,300 for that position. This person will be overseen by the recreation director and will have some involvement with harbor master's office if needed. We anticipate that our steward at Mitchell Field is going to step down, and with the new boat launch and all the activity at Mitchell Field, that we will need an increased presence of someone representing the town at Mitchell Field, and then also our other sites as well.
So there's a portion carried in Mitchell Field.
Yeah, and there's a portion in Mitchell Field as well. We've always had the mowing of our town lands. Now we provide these dog stations at some of the town lands. There are maintenance and upkeep issues, trail maintenance. This is also where you see $5,000 in the budget for Clark Cove. And we have that in the warrant article that the voters are considering that the town authorize up to $5,000 for some of the improvements that we might do there, a small trail and parking lot, if that is approved. So this is the budget where you see that. There are some picnic tables slated for, which location is that? Can't remember where. Picnic tables at Mackerel Cove. It says picnic table at Mackerel Cove, 1,300. ADA picnic table, so that's great. And toilets. So we do have these portable toilets at several of our sites, and so obviously we have to pay to have those brought to the site, cleaned regularly, and then removed. And then we have a small signage budget. So, yeah.
Just a quick question because I'm the new guy. If the Clark Cove thing fails, that $5,000 goes back into the general fund, I assume, correct?
We don't even, no, it doesn't even get raised and appropriated.
Okay,
It's-
perfect. Yep.
Yep,
That was just a
yep,
clarifying
yep,
question.
Yep,
Thank you.
yep.
Good one, though.
This is our Cedar Beach budget. So, we've had this for a number of years. We have an agreement where the public can use the private road going to the Cedar Beach location as long as we have a monitor program in place. So essentially from Memorial Day to Labor Day, we're required to visit the site once a day, deal with any parking-related issues on Robin Hood Road, ensure that the rules are being followed. And this falls under the Recreation Department, and they've done a really nice job staying on top of that. Fortunately, we're able to find people who want to be beach monitors, but sometimes it gets a little difficult because it's not a lot of hours, but it's a great location to go to work. So
this is separate from the town lands budget?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Next budget, cemeteries. This is always kind of an interesting conversation. We have, 5 private cemeteries in Harpswell that the town has been providing assistance to, primarily to ensure that veterans' graves are being taken care of. But there has been a situation with Cranberry Horn in Cundy's Harbor where they have needed some additional support. So you can see, if you look down below, you can kind of see the breakdown of where we got. You can see the request, although I think Cranberry Horn, I have to say, they requested 6,000, but the budget committee recommended 3. So there was a reduction there. They are trying to keep their organization, they're trying to ensure that it's a sustainable organization, and they've had some people leave the board, and so they're really kind of challenged to make sure that they can, handle all the responsibilities that they have. But they've definitely done a nice job trying to get that back together, and I think the budget committee felt like maybe they need to do more fundraising, or, they need to do a little more financial outreach on their part.
Hillcrest was also decreased.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
I'm sorry,
the
not
same- I
Hillcrest.
hosted,
Oars
so-
Island.
It's Oars
Oh,
Island.
Oars
excuse me.
Island, yeah, they asked for a lot more money, and the budget committee looked at their finances and felt that they were not in need, essentially, that they had the financial resources to cover their costs.
So in the end, the Budget Committee just wanted to stick to the veteran stipend for all 5 cemeteries.
Yep. See, Bailey Allen didn't ask for anything extra to speak of.
No?
Half of them are relatives.
Yeah, that's fair.
And, that was a Budget Committee decision. I think you heard about that at the reconciliation, but if you want to hear from any entity as we're going through this tonight, please let us know.
Nope.
I'm good.
Next area is risk management. This is where we carry all of our insurances, both workers' comp and our general property, casualty, liability, boats, motors, vehicles. Volunteer firefighters, we have a specific additional policy that covers them from when they might leave the location they're responding to the call from. It fills a gap that doesn't get covered in our existing policy. And, this is up 6.3%. This is an area where we will see some increase likely with our new $6 million emergency services building. We have an umbrella policy, but we still will need to add that building to our policy.
Yeah, I doubt they'll cover that without extra charge.
Yeah, no, we will have an extra charge,
The
for sure.
insurance for boats and motors is
It's
Pretty good.
It's going through the roof.
The risk, I
It's-
guess, with,
It's hitting everybody.
Yeah.
It's ungodly what's happened to it. I mean, I see it on the commercial end too.
yeah,
Right, my insurance has doubled in the last 2 years,
isn't that
and
kind
I
of?
don't have, I haven't made a claim.
No.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's just I don't know what's happened to the boat. A bunch of people bought boats during COVID. They're probably all thinking
yeah.
they don't know how to run them. I don't
Yeah.
know,
I can't remember off the top of my head if the,
but it is. It's the whole boat market.
Yeah, it's
insurance
gone up.
It's
Yeah.
we talked about it at the budget advisory committee meeting too, because they brought that up, and I said the same thing there. It's just boat insurance, but it's one of those things. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I mean,
know.
it's a lot cheaper to pay the insurance than it is to have to pay for a
Right.
brand new one out of pocket.
yeah,
I insure 3 of them, and it's nowhere near that amount,
Where was it again?
but it is what it is.
There's a lot of people out there in the water that had no idea what they're doing, and the insurance company knows that.
I know, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah, I can't recall if the
Entertaining.
airboat is more expensive than the other boat. I don't remember off the top of my head, but
It
No, it's
probably
fine.
is.
it kind of depends on
Is
what
that-
type of accidents have occurred and if,
Is that mooring hauling boat included in that? That we aren't really, is that insured?
Oh, the float?
no,
Yeah.
no.
You know what I'm talking?
That is
Yeah.
not.
All right, good, because if, why insured, if we're not using it?
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Where is that?
Huh? It's over at Great Coins,
No, not the mooring hauler?
the mooring float.
The mooring hauler there, like, that
Yeah.
they used to haul, is that Greg?
No, yeah, he's got a mooring over there, up in the creek.
In the winter?
Yeah. Yeah. News to me, as they say in the woods. You gotta keep your fingers on
Employee
everything, you know?
benefit?
Yeah, you got it, you're on top of it.
Employee benefits, this is where we show our social security, FICA, Medicare, retirement, 457. As you can see, it's the health insurance that is a big driver here, but our number's actually gone down from the prior year, so
From changes in enrollment.
changes in enrollment. We have a short-term leave policy, and we have a paid family medical leave policy. So a lot of the health insurance is driven by who may join the plan in any given year or who may leave the plan in any given year.
Now, the state Medical Leave Act, municipalities fall under that, or are we exempt from that?
No, we have to contribute
We do.
Do we pay the full 1% or just the 0.5%?
the half.
Okay.
The paid family leave shows 100% increase.
But
That's that new
it
law,
isn't.
right?
No, if you look at the 2025 budget.
I
it
know,
was
that's what I'm
the
looking
same.
at, what
Oh,
the heck?
that is,
It's because I had to override it last year and show it as 100 because it was new last year and I
Oh,
just
right, I see,
Yeah.
okay.
didn't
just a
catch it.
formula.
Yep.
Yeah,
issue.
okay.
It took effect last May, I think.
So you're going back to 24 then on
Yeah.
that? Yeah, I got you.
We won't get into it.
Nope.
Nope.
And this is just kind of a breakdown of our estimated payroll is 1.6 million. That's how we sort of calculate most of our, that's how we calculate the Social Security, Medicare, et cetera, after we reduce certain aspects. We show the retirement plans, Mission Square is a 457. Then we show who's currently on the health plan, who we anticipate may come on the health plan, and that's how we derive our 432,626 number. Yeah, so that's sort of the calculation page behind the benefits. Contingency, we're happy to report that we didn't end up using any in 2025, so,
It just shows good management.
and we have 26,219 in that budget, and that's where it will stay. And we do provide a history, if anybody's interested, on that page since 2008, how we have utilized contingency.
I appreciate that.
Yep. No special projects. No new special projects, I should say. Here's recycling center. We have a full-time manager. We have several full-time employees, a part-time employee who's seasonal. So you can see there's a lot of money in the wage area, but then also in waste disposal and recycling. We have contracted those, services out, and so it depends on the volume that we get, but I think we're staying at a fairly even level. And then we have utilities, repair, maintenance, some travel, training, uniforms, supplies. We do get involved in household hazardous waste days. We don't typically host them, but they're hosted either in typically Bath or Brunswick, and our residents can go to those hazardous waste days and get rid of certain types of hazardous waste that you can't drop off at the facility on a regular basis.
Well, I participated in that last year. You drive through the garages, so it's like going through a car wash almost. And,
Yeah.
there's a line of people that, it's really pretty interesting.
It's pretty well organized, I
You
think.
don't even have to get out of your vehicle.
And we do have compost bins, you can see, and I think that's an area where they've really tried to encourage people to compost and reduce the amount of waste that we pay that has to be put either in a landfill or wherever it ends up, I guess. Is it being incinerated at this point, or are we sure?
The composters?
No, the waste, just the general waste.
Oh, right, it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We have to get together soon about the recycling building.
Okay.
It's time to take the next step.
Let me know when, because I'd like to sit in on it.
It probably ought to be the three of us.
Yeah.
So
So
you
what-
want to have a
Yeah,
workshop
but
on
the
that?
committee
A
itself.
workshop, or do you want the manager to come and, what
He-
exactly would you like?
I think the manager's waiting for us to do something. I think we got to kick it in gear. Do we hire somebody to do initial design?
Yeah. Oh, I see.
So we could spec out a new building. The working group decided the best thing to do is tear it down and start over.
Yep,
Trying to save some of the parts and pieces weren't worth it.
right.
If you go through did you take a tour? All the parlons are rusted.
Right.
The main beams are fine, but
Yeah.
it's not worth the trouble. But
But the recommendation hasn't come,
Yeah, I think you have mentioned, and I think we're all basically in agreement that this new structure needs to be put up. I
Right.
think one of the questions we had for the working group is, do we need the same size structure, and will it all be used for recycling, or is there some opportunity for some limited public works in this space? And
Same footprint. We utilizing the same slab, and then maybe the east end of the building, a bay or two for town public works. That's what we kind of came up with.
When's the working group going to meet again?
Why don't we just have
Or
a
are
meet
they?
with us?
yeah, maybe have a meet with
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, and they can
we
lay it
never
all
settled on
out,
the
and
next
then we
meeting.
can take the next steps after.
but that's
Yeah.
that's the one I want to know, but I'd like to sit in on that one if
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
it, if you
yeah.
do it again.
Yep.
So do you want us to work with the manager on setting up a workshop with
Yeah.
the three board? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we get- It's a good group, working group. They all have,
Expertise,
they argue back and forth.
There's nothing wrong
I'll
with
tell them
that.
not to.
that's typical.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, God, no.
Disagreement is good.
Okay, this is transfer station, so we do not show wages and salaries here. We show it in the recycling center area. But we do show waste disposal costs there. And I think that projected to be up about 3.5%, potentially. Town roads maintenance, this is where we carry the road commissioner's compensation, and we contract out essentially all, road repair, maintenance items, ditching, new culverts, putting up street signs or road signs, clearing trees in certain areas, mowing along the roadside. This is where that budget comes into play. And I think you can see there's an attached kind of history of the roads that we worked on and, that had maintenance issues in 2025. That, we only got through October 3rd on that list. Oh, no, I guess it goes further, is that right? October 17th? Anyway, we didn't get this one to the end of the year. But you can follow some of the roads that have been worked on and the type of work that has been done on the roads. Snow removal. We are going to ask the select board to add to that winter sand number. When we put the budget together, we didn't yet have the figure from the contractor. We hadn't gone out to bid, and that came in at $2,350. So, yeah, Yeah. So I think we need to add, maybe we should, what do you think? $7,230 is what I was suggesting.
To the 20,
Yes, to the 20,328.
27,
Say it again, I'm sorry, Christie.
So, yeah, no. I took the 2350, I think, and multiplied it by the
Yeah.
1,200 yards. Maybe
that?
you can check me. And I got 28,200.
Okay, perfect, thank
Can
you.
you check me? And then I reduced it by the 2328 we already have.
28.2.
But then can you reduce it by the 2328? And I think that's where you're going to see the 7230. Whoop, well, what'd you get?
Wow.
yeah.
Maybe, is that right?
It was 23.28.
No, maybe you're right, sorry.
7,
7, 8, let's make it, do we want to make it 8,000?
Yes.
Let's just add 8,000. That's going to be much easier.
28,328 for that line.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
There we go.
Well,
Yep, I saw the trucks coming down here today.
Any idea why
Yeah.
it went up so much? Wasn't it because we only got
It-
one bid, wasn't it? Yeah, we usually, yep. Okay, sorry, I just had to jog, sometimes I gotta talk things down.
Yeah.
Jog my memory.
Yeah, no, that's why.
We did get more than one bid, I thought.
No, we
No.
just got the one bid.
Just Country Fair? Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it used to be,
We used to get two.
we used to get
it-
several.
it was
but-
COP for a long time.
yep.
And we also have information for people about how much tonnage we have purchased in any given year in both, the tonnage refers to the salt and the sand is done in yards, so that's how we track our
We're going to go an hour
expenditures
tonight
over
or longer.
time.
No,
What?
just stopped just before the fire departments.
Okay.
Go.
The sheriff's
In about 5
department,
minutes.
this is where we have our contract for general law enforcement services, and that is up 8.6%. The Budget Committee did talk about that, but the sheriff's department had indicated that they had to make some adjustments to their wages and salaries because they needed to be able to recruit and retain people. And so that's an area where we did see a substantial increase in that contract. But this is to have 3 dedicated deputies in Harpswell. And this is a contracted service that we've had for a number of years. And then in addition, this is where we carry the money for Cumberland County Regional Communications. I think that's a pretty good number for having all of our emergency service calls dispatched. You couldn't hire one person probably for that amount of money. So
Yeah.
we share that cost with Cumberland County essentially.
Is
Next-
that based on the town's population?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Next contract is Shellfish. The town has had for a number of years 2 marine wardens. And again, you can see in the contracted service area, the costs going up. And we were told again that this relates to being able to retain people and trying to provide wages that are competitive with other entities in the area. And
I heard there was some discussion about the need for the additional wardens.
there was some, did that come up in the reconciliation meeting? But at the Budget Committee level, there was kind of this general
Yeah.
discussion, do we need to?
Very far.
No, I was gonna say
Would we be able to function with one?
No.
No.
There's plenty of evidence to the
Yeah,
contrary.
yeah. And-
Even
and-
lately.
Yeah, and I think the thing that does help support too is they can serve as deputies.
Right.
Right.
They can intervene, they can stop
they do.
speeders, they
Yeah.
can provide assistance, so.
Our deputies.
Really, they're the best bang for the buck.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
they-
Because they can do the marine stuff as well as the sheriff stuff, where the
Yeah.
sheriffs can only do the sheriff
Yeah.
type of
Yep,
enforcement.
and
Yeah.
plus,
And they help with the seating and,
they operate our airboat.
yeah.
So, well, I think at this point, it didn't upset everybody. We'll call it quits on this.
Twist my
Did you
arm.
want to just get through marine services?
The
There was just one more.
3115, just one more?
Those-
Okay, yep.
Okay.
3110. 3115.
Yeah, then we can
sorry.
end on a nice round number, 3,200.
Yeah.
I like that.
So this account is where we carry some money if there are going to be
yeah.
some conservation projects, and we are just proposing $2,000 in 2026. That number fluctuates a lot depending upon the specific project that the committee might be recommending in any given year.
Right.
They haven't really talked about anything
Okay,
right now.
Yeah.
They just-
okay.
But also with
Yeah.
the new harbor master / marine resources coordinator, there may be some projects that that person may have in mind.
Yep.
So we're carrying a small amount.
So that is where you would like to end, right?
Yep. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Mary? You good with that, David? Yep.
Why
Okay.
not?
It seems to be about halfway.
Yeah.
Do we, just for my own, we finish it next Thursday?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
just figuring it out.
And then it-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll go over it one more time.
We do go over it again?
Yeah, well, it will be put into like a warrant format.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you'll
And
review
is-
that.
Is that when you would ask us for like, do we support
Recommendations,
this
yes,
warrant
right,
item?
Yeah.
right.
Is
yeah,
when you have
yeah,
more important?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Perfect, thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yep. We don't have any public here. Any other business?
Mary Ann's in the back, don't, so I recognize your.
She would already be at the podium.
Yeah.
Two other items, please, is, so the board seemed to be in agreement to adding that amount to the building repair and maintenance. Does that mean you would like to authorize this amount of $7,776 with the company to do the sprinkler work?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Could you please move?
All right, I so move.
I second it.
All in favor? Bang.
And the second is, I handed out just before the meeting, an updated carryover list.
Yep.
Yep.
Wyman and Simpson and GEI has not come through with that invoice, which is still affecting the year-end situation. However, there were a couple of other minor changes. Actually,
It went up.
the carryover went up.
Yeah.
There were, there were a couple of invoices that got switched into 2026. So
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure the board had this and was aware of it, and I'll point out to you the two numbers that changed. The townwide revaluation, that is $212,405 carrying forward, and emergency services building planning, $33,487 for the new total that you see of $3,439,331.
Just laying around.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just want to add that we've had auditors in the building this week, and I just want to really thank our treasurer and deputy town administrator, because, you know, she gets everything in good order. The auditors, she responds to all the questions that they have. She follows up with, you know, anything that they need additional information on, and we're just fortunate to have that dedication and that level of commitment to
Well,
that
I'm always
Thank you.
impressed.
process.
so-
I was in her office and one of the auditors came in and commented how she is always like on the money. Everything is so it's very, very much
Yeah.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I sat with the auditors yesterday. I do every year. So-
They were new to the town this year. I like how they switched that up, because sometimes new eyes see different things, and so very nice people to work with, and they asked a bunch of different new questions, which we find enjoyable, because anything they want to know, we show.
Yep. So, Terry gave them a tour around the office. They have to ask staff members certain questions.
And they will randomly want to ask questions
Yeah.
of any department.
And it only intimidated all of the employees. No, just kidding. They're very welcoming.
Yeah. In that case, we're adjourned.